Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new and very exciting Star Wars Squadrons video. Over the last few days I've had my hands on the game early and have been able to test all aspects of the game. So in this video I will be giving my first impressions of the gameplay, the multiplayer modes, the customization and the campaign. When I talk about the campaign as well, there will be no spoilers or footage shown, so if you're worried about that then you will be absolutely fine. Now I just want to say a very quick thank you to the EA Game Changer program for making this video possible. If you want to see more content from me, then be sure to subscribe to the channel for news, discussions, live streams, and more surrounding Star Wars Squadrons and Star Wars games in general. Anyway, let's get into the video. Now, before getting into it properly though, I just want to address this real quick, simple thing that a lot of people have been saying based on the way they think the game looks and sounds. What is that, you may ask? Well, a lot of people have been comparing this to Starfighter Assault from Battlefront 2, and I can assure you right now that this feels absolutely nothing like it at all. This feels completely unique. Anyway, I'm going to start off with the gameplay, as that's probably one of the biggest aspects for you guys as well. In total, we have 8 ships, 4 for the Empire and 4 for the New Republic, with 4 different roles: fighter, bomber, interceptor and support. Some of you may be concerned that they all feel fairly similar, but I can assure you that this is not the case. Each ship feels very unique and each class has its own purpose, and the balancing between them all is actually pretty good. For example, as an interceptor I was melting bombers and support ships, as you'd probably expect, but as a bomber as well I was still taking down fighters pretty easily and holding my own. When I say each ship feels unique, I really do mean that. They all have varying speeds and the way they move is different to one another. The component system in the game allows you to change the way your starfighter plays, as there are around 60 components in total. I haven't obviously played with all of them yet, but from the way I was changing my A-Wing in last night's playtest, I could really feel the difference compared to the normal A-Wing build, which is a very good sign for the other components. No matter what you change, your fighter will feel different. As for the actual gameplay basics as well, movement, shooting, etc., they all feel very solid. It's fast paced and fun to fly around, and the way you manage your systems is super important in this game as well. If you're at full throttle you will not be all that manoeuvrable, however if you find that sweet spot, which is clearly indicated at half speed and also by an audio cue, then you will be able to turn the most. The power management itself is a really great system in Squadrons, and even after you've played the prologue it feels really natural to use. Like I said before, managing your systems is super important. You need to know when it's the right time to divert power to your engines or your shields. Do you focus your shields on the front or the back? When do you pull back on the throttle, and all those other things? Now that might sound slightly daunting to many, but to be fair I was worried about this as well, but after a couple of games my situational awareness developed and it became somewhat second nature. Now for the multiplayer modes as well, we have Dogfight and Fleet Battles. In Dogfight it's simply 5v5 team deathmatch, where the first team to reach 30 kills wins. The 5v5 team deathmatch may not sound all that exciting, but honestly it was actually a lot more enjoyable than I expected, and I can definitely see myself playing this on a regular basis. 30 kills took about 10 minutes or so to get. I've had 3 games and my playtime is about 28 minutes. Maybe it could go up to 40 kills instead just to make it a little bit longer, but either way it's a nice, fairly quick mode to play. The benefit to Dogfight as well is that you can get some really great practice in of the flight and combat mechanics before heading into PvP Fleet Battles, which is the flagship mode in the game. You have to reach level 5 before playing PvP Fleet Battles anyway, however that only took me 3 games of Dogfight, which as I said is about half an hour of playtime. Either way, if you have a new Starfighter build, then testing your new components on Dogfight is probably something you'd look into depending on the build. Moving on to Fleet Battles though, I had around 90 minutes of playtime yesterday with this, and the mode itself felt great. At first I didn't find myself enjoying it as much as I had hoped, but once I learnt the mode a little bit more and got the hang of things better, I really did start to enjoy it. The games I had felt incredibly intense, and even had a close battle against Twisted Jedi, Sammy Boy, Azatru, Eckhart's Ladder and Battlefront FR, but myself, Massive G, Molly or Alex from Star Wars Explained and 2 others managed to get in the win, which was awesome. Unfortunately I wasn't recording at this point, but I do have the scoreboard before the game began as proof of the game. For those wondering what Fleet Battles actually is, it's a 5v5 PvP with AI tug of war mode, where the end goal is to destroy the enemy capital ship. It's a flagship mode in Squadrons and has a ranked PvP system. Something I will say about Fleet Battles is that the capital ships are insane against starfighters. If you don't play the situation right, you will be completely obliterated. I personally found that it was a good idea to wipe out the turret placements and also aim for the shield generators, so that if you do get pushed back, which is incredibly likely, then they can't regain their shields for your next attack and there won't be as many turrets to shoot at you. I haven't played all the maps yet either. Thus far I've played Sisubo, Acels, Galatan and the Xavian Abyss, and I've really enjoyed all 4 of these. They're all vastly different in the colours used and the environments that they have within the map, and they all play really well for both modes. Sisubo and the Xavian Abyss are probably my top 2 so far, but after a few weeks I will probably go into a bit more depth with these. Now I'm going to talk about the cosmetics in the game. Firstly, I'm really pleased with how in-depth the system is. You can customise your pilot and your ship in so many different ways, and as someone who loves cosmetics, it makes me very happy. The pilot customization in the game, and more specifically the helmets, are incredible. There's so many options to choose from on both sides and they all look great. Flight suits are really cool as well, and there are around 8 to 10 on both sides, as well as victory poses, emotes and more. As for the ship cosmetics, I'm both happy and a little bit disappointed. I'm really pleased with the way you can customise your ship with the skins, decals, hanging flares and whatnot. However, I was just expecting a little bit more of them. For the ship customization, there isn't too much beyond what we saw from Game Changers several months back, which is I think where a lot of my disappointment lies with it. That said, I can't complain too much as the cosmetics that we do have, they do look very good, and the operation system in the games will bring us more cosmetics every 8 weeks, so I'm really hoping that we do get to see more of these interior cosmetics and ship skins further down the line through operations. If you want to see all the cosmetics in the game as well, then I will be posting a video of that in 2 hours as of this video going live, so for many of those watching it may well already be up. The last thing I want to go over as well is the single player campaign, and as I said I won't be going into spoilers here, and I personally haven't yet finished it either, so from what I have played so far it is really engaging. The campaign teaches you the ropes really well at the start, and the more you play the more you learn about the more advanced manoeuvres, so I'd highly recommend playing through the campaign as well if you want to be an ace pilot in the multiplayer so that you can learn all about it. The actual story as well has definitely got me keen to learn and play even more, so I'm excited to see where the story takes us. When Squadrons was first announced, I wasn't too sure how much I'd enjoy it. I've never really been one to play starfighter games or flight games like this, but having played for the last few days, I have had a lot of fun. And from the first impressions, I can say that Motive have done a really awesome job with this game. It feels great to play, and hopefully for all those X-Wing and TIE Fighter veterans out there, it meets your expectations, and of course for all those others excited for this game. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. I will do a full-on review for this game in a couple of weeks' time when I've had more time to play with it, but first impressions are very good so far. Let me know in the comments what you thought as well, and if you have any questions about the game then be sure to ask them in the comments as well. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.